I just saw National Anthem. It's an indie film. It's a indie film that's set somewhere in the South, the West, basically where there's this, ranch type culture. And it's about this LGBTQ plus ranch, and it's like this coming of age story where this young man is dealing with his mom, who's an alcoholic, and she's recovering, and his younger brother, who I believe is on the spectrum, and just the pressure that he feels to support them while he's also trying to find himself. And so it's more coming of age than it is about like, I got to reach this particular goal. Like he has a goal of, saving up to get an RV, but it's all about like his discovery and exploration of his sexuality and love, and falling for this girl who is in a relationship. She's in an open relationship with this guy that runs the ranch, but they are in a full committed partnership together. So it's kind of like him wanting what he can't have, but also discovering just the suppression of his own self-expression. And the film is a lot about codependency, not just in the relationship with her and her relationship with the ranch hand, Pepe, but also his relationship with his mom, and what does it look like to delay living your life because you're worried that the people that you're taking care of or that depend on you, aren't capable. It's a little slow, which a lot of indie films just can be that way. But my absolute favorite thing about the film is I love seeing films and stories where I'm like, wow, like I've never seen this type of story before. Like I've seen the ranch thing, I've seen the coming of age, but to so boldly and proudly have it be basically about queer cowboys, in this queer cowboy ranch, and what does it look like to kind of this curated, created family of these people that have been disowned by their families or have run away from home, to trying to find a place where they belong. And there's a lot of I just thought it was so cool because there's just such a stereotype of the ranch and the West, and cowboys being this like macho, conservative, American, overly patriotic type thing. But so often politically that seems to clash with the rights of the queer community. So I thought it was so cool to get to see this man standing in a dress, this glittery dress, as he sang the national anthem. There were so many tableaus like that were really, really beautiful and inspiring and just really unique. And something I'd never seen before. There were some moments where it felt a little cliche or a little like on the nose with the dialogue or hitting the nail on the head. I love when things are just, I feel like the statement of it in of itself of presenting what they were presenting is an act of rebellion. I feel like art in itself is an act of rebellion, but because I'd never seen anything like that before, very much saying like, just because you are queer does not mean that you are not patriotic, does not mean that you can't be a cowboy, does not mean that there aren't queer people in this community that are living this life, that are from Texas, that are from Oklahoma, that are from here, that grew up on a ranch, all that stuff, et cetera, et cetera. But there was a couple times in the dialogue, it felt like they were trying to explain or justify, or that came off a little preachy. And for me, the film in itself is already exemplary of that. Like, that's not needed. I thought the lead actor and actress, oh my gosh, what were their names? Dylan and Sky are the characters, were so great. So great. they were the really big standout. They were the really big standout performances for me. There was just so many times for both of them, especially Dylan, where I just felt like I was getting to witness his intimate experience, and he was just experiencing something as a human. And it was so vulnerable and authentic, and that's why we go to the movies. So I just realized I didn't say any spoilers in this review, which is so rare for me. So definitely a triumph. I wish there was some elements where he would fantasize about her, Dylan would fantasize about Sky, and it was almost like you could tell it was like in his imagination, and it was a little more abstract and fantastical. I kind of loved those parts the most, and I wish that they had leaned into that a little more, but I get that they were going more for like realism, but I don't know, it would have been interesting to have seen, especially because there was a part where he took mushrooms in it, and it's like, so it felt like you could have doubled down way more on that particular part and done that. But anywho, but obviously it's not my story to tell. So, yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was worth seeing, and it was definitely not like the best thing I've ever seen, but I thought it was great and good for what it was. And, you know, there were some things that I would have altered, but again, it's not my movie. And I do think it was a triumph though that it was made. So bravo.